Bella arrived at our shelter late one night, her cries echoing through the empty halls. She was heavily pregnant and trembling with fear. Scanning her chip revealed a heartbreaking story. Her owner had died just weeks ago, and her so-called family had abandoned her like trash. Dumping animals is illegal, so we reported them. When the judge, a fierce animal lover, heard their excuse, his face turned red with fury. He gave them a punishment so fitting I couldn't stop laughing. Bella crept around the shelter with small, uncertain steps, her eyes wide as she took everything in. I knelt down and placed a bowl of food in front of her, cooing gently to reassure her. She blinked up at me, her eyes reflecting both fear and curiosity. "Hey there, Bella, you're safe now," I whispered softly. She hesitated before tentatively munching on the food, her body still tense but visibly relaxing a bit. The shelter door creaked open as Jack and Jocelyn stepped inside. Their eyes darted around nervously, and they whispered to each other as if sharing a secret. I noticed they avoided making direct eye contact with any of the staff, which put me on alert. I watched them from the corner of my eye as they continued their low conversation, wondering what brought them here and why they seemed so uneasy. I couldn't help but keep my gaze on Jack and Jocelyn. Their behavior struck me as odd, like they were playing a part in some unknown drama. "Smile more," Jack whispered, nudging Jocelyn with forced encouragement. She plastered on a bright but unconvincing smile. I couldn't put my finger on it, but something was definitely off. My instincts told me to stay close and keep watch. Bella, usually skittish around new people, surprisingly approached Jack and Jocelyn with cautious curiosity. As she neared them, Jack extended a trembling hand to pet her. Bella hesitated for a moment, sniffing his fingers before allowing a brief touch. There was a flicker of recognition in her eyes. I wondered if she recognized them and why Jack's hand shook as if he were recalling something unpleasant. Bella's ears flicked back slightly when Jack touched her, and she recoiled as if remembering a bad encounter. Jocelyn, trying to appear casual, tried coaxing Bella with some treats she pulled from her pocket. "See, Bella, all good here, right?" she said, her tone overly cheerful. Bella warily looked up at her, and I noticed Jocelyn's act was starting to show cracks. Her attempt to win Bella over seemed rehearsed and unnatural. I couldn't ignore the nagging feeling that Jack and Jocelyn knew more about Bella than they let on. Their behavior didn't match that of ordinary visitors. Jack's stiff movements and Jocelyn's overly sweet talk only deepened my suspicion. Something about their casual demeanor seemed like a cover-up. "Do you think she's adapting well?" Jocelyn asked me, trying to keep her tone light as she glanced at Bella. Determined to get to the bottom of things, I started observing Bella more closely. She usually enjoyed the calm of the shelter, but today she seemed restless after her encounter with Jack and Jocelyn. I wondered if their visit had disrupted her usual routine. Bella kept glancing towards the door as if expecting someone else to appear, a slight edge of nervousness in her movements that wasn't there before. Jack returned later that afternoon, this time holding a bag of treats. Without much ceremony, he dropped a handful near Bella while avoiding looking straight at her. "Here, girl, enjoy these," he muttered, sounding absent-minded. Bella approached the treats cautiously, sniffing them before deciding to indulge. I leaned against the wall, curious about Jack's interactions with Bella and why he seemed so detached and uneasy around her. While Jack engaged with Bella, Jocelyn took a seat in the corner of the room, her attention fixed on her phone. She barely glanced up, fingers scrolling absent-mindedly through whatever was on her screen. The shelter buzzed with usual activity, but I noticed a sense of tension that hung over us like a cloud. It was almost as if Jocelyn was purposely distancing herself from the situation unfolding around Bella. Bella nestled close to me, her purring loud and steady, a soothing little engine beneath my hand. Meanwhile, Jack and Jocelyn exchanged quick glances and shifted their weight from foot to foot. Their restlessness was clear as day. "Do we just wait?" Jack whispered to Jocelyn, casting a nervous look our way. Bella seemed unfazed by their presence, but I couldn't shake the feeling something was brewing. In the corner of the room, Jack and Jocelyn's heads were close together, their voices low and hushed. I could barely catch snippets of their hurried conversation, though Bella seemed to detect the tension, glancing up with wide eyes. Jack murmured something, and Jocelyn gave a nod, her eyes darting to Bella. The air felt thick, heavy with unspoken words, making Bella and me wonder what plan they were concocting. As I watched Jack and Jocelyn, a swirling storm of questions battled for attention in my mind. What was their real reason for spending so much time here at the shelter? With Bella's previous owner gone, it didn't make sense for them to linger. Bella blinked slowly, sensing my unease. I couldn't shake the feeling that their presence meant something more than what they were letting on. I had to find out. One lazy afternoon, I caught sight of Jack loitering near Bella's pen, looking like he wanted to stake a claim and disappear all at once. He fiddled ceaselessly with his pocket, shooting glances over his shoulder. "Jack, what are you doing?" I asked, trying not to sound too confrontational. His eyes briefly flicked to mine, then back to Bella, still acting like a man with a secret to hide. Outside, Jocelyn hovered near the entrance, stealing glances at the exit as if expecting the world to end and she needed a way out. Meanwhile, Jack reached toward Bella, extending a trembling hand. "Nice kitty, just like old times," he mumbled, his fingers hovering uncertainly over her fur. Bella flicked her tail, expression a mix of curiosity and caution. Something about the way they interacted felt off, almost like they were rehearsing lines. Bella's reaction was caught between trust and instinct. She paused, her green eyes locked onto Jack's hand as if weighing a significant choice. I could not stand by and watch any longer. "Mind explaining what this is all about?" I finally asked, trying to sound casual. Jack glanced at Jocelyn, then back at me. Clearly, they knew more than they were willing to share, and it made my skin crawl with irritation. Despite the way Jack's hand trembled, Bella, ever hopeful, gazed at him with eyes brimming with uncertainty. Releasing a breath, I decided it was best to step back. Giving them space didn't mean I wouldn't be watching. Jack's posture relaxed a bit under my retreating gaze, but my decision was firm, stay vigilant, and watch over Bella like a hawk, because something wasn't adding up. Not one bit. Jack whispered softly to Bella, his voice barely carrying across the room but heavy with guilt and uncertainty. "Hey there, Bella. Remember us? We meant well, really," he crooned, attempting a gentle tone that carried a hint of something unresolved. The cat cocked her head, curious yet cautious. I leaned against the doorframe, listening attentively to every word, every inflection, trying to piece together the truth hidden within his words. As Jack continued his soft talk, Jocelyn broke in, urging him to wrap things up quickly. "We can't stay too long, Jack. Let's get going," she prompted, casting wary glances at the clock on the wall. My instincts screamed at me that this was no mere visit. They were up to something not entirely innocent or straightforward. All right, Jack mumbled, obviously torn between his task and her insistence. The next day brought an unexpected twist. Bella refused her breakfast, merely poking at her food with disinterest. While I tried coaxing Bella to eat, Jocelyn strolled by, her gaze lingering on Bella a little too long. It wasn't your average look of concern. It was sharper, more calculating. I watched Jocelyn closely as she moved on, wondering why Bella's mere presence seemed to demand so much of her attention. Jack shifted his feet nervously, brushing off my questions. He quickly pulled out a crumpled piece of paper, smoothing it out and peering at it with intense focus. I couldn't help but wonder what was on it. "What's that?" I asked, trying to catch a glimpse. He quickly folded it up again, stuffing it back in his pocket as if it held some deep secret he wasn't ready to share. Curiosity gnawed at me, urging me to dig deeper. "Hey, do you guys know anything about Jack and Bella?" I asked my coworkers during a coffee break. They exchanged puzzled looks and shrugged. None of them seemed to know about any special connection Jack might have with the cat. But it seemed odd how he paid Bella extra attention, more than we were used to seeing. Something was definitely up. Bella was on edge, her ears twitching at every tiny sound. "You all right, girl?" I asked, gently scratching behind her ear. She just seemed distracted, like something was bothering her. Even the usual clatter of the shelter seemed to make her uneasy today. The absence of information from my coworkers left a cloud of mystery hanging in the air. Jack stood nearby, his gaze locked on Bella like she was some sort of puzzle to solve. "You really like her, huh?" I remarked, trying to make sense of their connection. Jack didn't respond. the intensity of his stare unbroken. It was like he was searching for answers only Bella could offer. I couldn't shake the feeling that there was a whole backstory here. Determined not to miss a beat, I started jotting down every odd interaction I witnessed. In my worn-out journal, I documented the way Jack and Jocelyn acted around Bella. Every strange glance, every awkward touch, it all went in there. "We're going to crack this mystery, Bella," I assured her. There was no way I'd let any stone go unturned while figuring this out. During our lunch break, I noticed Jocelyn loitering by the shelter entrance. She was pacing back and forth, her eyes glued to her phone as if waiting for an important message. "Everything okay, Jocelyn?" I asked, trying to sound casual. She nodded quickly and mumbled something about waiting on a delivery, but the way she kept looking at the screen made me think otherwise. From across the room, I saw Jack speaking into his phone, his voice urgent and low. His eyes kept darting to Bella as if she were part of the call. Meanwhile, Bella lounged lazily, stretching and yawning, blissfully unaware of the drama unfolding. It was such a strange scene, Jack's tension against Bella's oblivious serenity, almost like they were worlds apart amidst the shelter's daily chaos. Their odd behavior had my alarm bells ringing. Keen to learn more, I pretended to tidy up near them, staying within earshot. "We gotta handle this soon," I overheard Jocelyn whispering to Jack. I stifled a gasp, the plot thickening before my eyes. All their mystery and secretiveness felt like stepping into a dramatic scene straight from a movie, and I wasn't going to miss any details. Jocelyn couldn't help but notice Jack's urgency. "Wrap it up, Jack," she insisted, casting anxious looks toward Bella. Bella remained lazy and unfazed, tilting her head as if she sensed something was up, but chose not to fret. "We're wasting too much time," Jocelyn whispered, her eyes darting around the room, clearly wanting to conclude whatever business had them acting this way around Bella. No way was I losing sight of Bella. Her safety was too important. I made sure to keep her well within my gaze as Jack concluded his mysterious phone call. "Sorry about that," he said, tucking his phone back into his pocket. He offered a weak smile, but didn't say much more. Just another puzzle piece in this bizarre scenario. Bella looked up briefly before settling into her cozy corner. Jack and Jocelyn left the shelter, not sparing a second glance at Bella, who watched them leave with unblinking eyes. Their departure seemed final, yet something told me this wasn't the last we'd see of them. My gut insisted there was more, some loose end that hadn't been tied up just yet. Bella's gaze never wavered until they were out of sight, leaving me to hope for closure. Later that week, I noticed Bella acting more restless than usual. She wandered around, pausing often as if expecting something to happen. Then, Jack showed up alone, looking more determined than ever, his eyes darting straight to Bella. I wondered what his plan was and why his visits never seemed to end. Bella watched him approach, tail flicking slightly as if sensing a change in the air. Jack arrived holding a brand new collar, its shiny bell tinkling softly as he approached. "Got something for you, Bella," he said with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. Bella eyed the collar with curiosity, her paw moving slowly towards it. There was something about his gesture that felt off, like it was more than just a simple gift. I watched carefully, wondering what Jack had in mind. Jack cooed softly to Bella, trying to appear casual. "Pretty collar for a pretty cat," he murmured, placing it down. But his words felt strange, like they were masking something deeper. He seemed tense, the air around him tight with unsaid words. Despite his calm tone, I could sense an urgency beneath. Bella, cautious but curious, kept her eyes on Jack, picking up on his energy. Bella nudged Jack's hand, momentarily catching his eye. It was as if she sensed something familiar, yet unsettling in his presence. She didn't back away, but there was a tension in the air. I wondered what secret Bella might hold, or if Jack had something he wasn't telling us. It felt like they shared a history I hadn't uncovered yet, a piece of the puzzle yet to be revealed. Jack's behavior hinted at a bigger story than anyone realized. His visits left Bella restless, as if she absorbed his nervous energy. I watched the unease in their exchanges and tried to understand what lay beneath. Jack had an edge to him that aroused my curiosity and suspicion. With each visit, Bella became more unsettled, like a sponge soaking up the tension Jack brought with him. Jack kept visiting, his motives growing more questionable each time. I was certain answers lay hidden in Bella's Chip's secret. She sensed his unease, mirroring it in her behavior. "What's your game, Jack?" I muttered under my breath. Despite the lack of answers, I knew we were close to uncovering whatever truth was tangled up between Jack, Jocelyn, and Bella. A new visitor arrived and asked to see Bella's chip data. I watched as he scanned it, his eyes widening at the information revealed. Something about the data left him visibly surprised, a revelation I hadn't anticipated. I leaned closer, eager to hear what he discovered. Bella's innocent appearance belied the shock hidden in her backstory, which was now becoming clear. The reveal left everyone stunned. As it turned out, Jack had known Bella's owner before she passed away. Everyone was astonished. "I didn't mean for this to happen," he admitted, glancing around sheepishly. He confessed to the shelter, piecing together the fragmented past. The truth about their connection slowly came to light, weaving them into a shared story that had long been left untouched. I could hardly believe what Jack and Jocelyn tried to do, discard Bella without anyone knowing. Bella's real story was hidden under layers of secrecy, but her chipped ID unraveled everything. The address and details revealed how deceitful they had been. Bella's true home bore secrets that, thanks to this microchip, were now out in the open. Her journey with us was only just beginning. Bella purred softly, her tail flicking against my hand as Jack fumbled for the right words. He looked around, clearly unsure how to proceed now that the truth was out there for everyone to see. "I didn't think it would come to this," he mumbled, wrestling with the weight of what had transpired. The tension in the room was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Jocelyn stood in the corner, her eyes fixed on the floor. She looked like she'd rather be anywhere else as the situation unfolded. Everyone in the room saw how Bella was thrown into this mess, but it was clear none of them, except maybe me, could understand the relief in honesty. "We didn't know," Jocelyn whispered, finally peering up, her voice filled with disbelief. "So that's it?" I asked, more to myself. Bella stretched gracefully, her eyes meeting mine as if acknowledging the truth about her past. With every piece of her history coming to light, questions about her owner began to fade. The stories I'd pieced together finally made sense, leaving us staring at a reality that maybe none of us were ready for. But here we were. Jack looked like he hadn't slept in days, his hair a mess, and those once confident eyes of his now avoided everyone. Jocelyn leaned against the wall, her face softening as her usual defenses faltered. "It's all messed up," Jack admitted, his voice turning into a whisper. The acknowledgement of their wrongdoing came as a relief, but shadowed by the disgrace they faced in public. Bella watched all of us, her emerald eyes growing more aware, as if she understood exactly where this journey had led. She'd been through a lot, but something about this moment felt like a turning point. Patting her gently, I realized how deeply our lives had tangled together. Her journey was no longer just hers. It had become a journey of unity and understanding for us all. In the hushed room, Jack finally spoke, his eyes meeting mine with a sincerity that seemed genuine for the first time. "I'm really sorry," he said, shoulders heavy with regret. His apology felt genuine, and I saw a glimmer of change. We turned our attention to involving shelter volunteers in aiding Bella, ensuring her environment suited her needs as she adjusted to this newfound chapter. In the days that followed, Bella seemed to thrive with this newly found attention. She'd bask in the affection from everyone and welcomed each bit of love with that trademark purr of hers. Jack warmed up too, his visits becoming a regular occurrence, his growing trust reflecting on his every action. It felt good to see change blossoming, not just in the shelter, but in all of us. Jocelyn started dropping by the shelter more often, rolling up her sleeves to help with various tasks. Her occasional presence slowly evolved into a steady commitment. "Turns out, I'm quite fond of these little guys," she admitted with a shy smile. It wasn't just about work. Jocelyn formed friendships, and her bond with Bella's story grew into something meaningful, creating ties that linked us all together. Each visit, Jack sank easily into a routine with Bella, whose playful antics were the highlight of his day. She seemed to transform the lives around her. Watching Jack interact with Bella was like witnessing a personal mystery unravel, piece by piece. Now, the tangled journey Bella had started was becoming one filled with warmth and comfort. not only for her, but for us all. With Bella swishing around, Jocelyn's presence at the shelter was now as consistent as daylight. She and Jack slowly rebuilt the trust that was once fragile. "We've come a long way," he mused one day, scratching Bella's head. These moments marked a significant change, as lessons from past mistakes instilled newfound depths of understanding and friendship that none of us ever saw coming. Our shelter became livelier as more people joined the effort to support Bella and the other animals. One day, Jocelyn and I greeted new volunteers who were eager to lend a hand. "We heard about Bella," said one volunteer, smiling warmly. Bella, now a symbol of hope, inspired everyone. Her story of recovery brought us closer, uniting people from all walks of life in a common goal. With Bella's story going public, people flooded the shelter with kind words and admiration for her. Adoption requests for Bella poured in faster than we ever imagined. "Do you think she's ready?" Jack asked, looking at her fondly. We decided to be careful, making sure her best interests always came first. It was important that Bella found a home where she felt safe and loved. The shelter team kept a watchful eye on all potential adopters, wanting to find the best match for Bella. No rush, okay? I often reminded everyone, safety first. Bella's tale of overcoming hardship inspired our community, reminding us how resilience can be so powerful. Her journey taught others about second chances, and that every furry friend deserves their chance at happiness and forever homes. Weeks rolled by, and Jack and Jocelyn's actions proved their sincerity. "I was wrong about them," I admitted to a colleague one day. Their dedication to Bella didn't go unnoticed, gradually changing how the community saw them. Folks started rallying around Bella, seeing Jack and Jocelyn not as people who hurt her, but as ones committed to her healing. It brought the community closer, tied by Bella's strength. Bella's kindness transformed the shelter into a place of healing. Her presence, like a beam of sunlight on a cold day, warmed everyone's hearts. Jack commented one day, "Bella makes it feel like home." Jocelyn agreed. "She's got this amazing spirit." With their support, the truth of Bella's past faded, replaced by a narrative of hope, mending the broken pieces with love and care. News of Bella's remarkable journey above and beyond the shelter caught the attention of authorities. "It's time," I thought, as Jack got a summons to the court. Bella's story had highlighted the issue of human carelessness, but also the power of redemption. The time had come to face what had been done to her. Jack and Jocelyn prepared for their trial with more than a few butterflies in their stomachs. The courtroom buzzed with anticipation as we all took our seats. The judge, passionate about animals, listened closely as the case unfolded. I sat nearby, ready to speak if necessary, my hands cradling Bella's carrier. She was a symbol, a face to the case against Jack and Jocelyn. The judge seemed determined and attentive, ensuring Bella's experience would be heard loud and clear. Both Jack and Jocelyn attempted to explain their side, but the judge didn't budge. "Irresponsible behavior," he declared, his voice firm. Their defense fell short, leaving a palpable tension in the air. Recognizing the gravity of their actions, the judge swiftly ruled against them. Our shelter friends waited for the unexpected twist of punishment they couldn't have predicted, reflecting a justice that mirrored Bella's impactful journey. The judge, inspired by Bella's story, handed down a unique sentence: community service at an animal shelter. "You'll help as much as you've harmed," the judge stated firmly. The decision took everyone by surprise, including the public who watched from afar. Jack and Jocelyn's newfound role shifted public opinion, showing them actively making amends. The choice was surprising but felt like it perfectly fit the situation. As news broke, whispers of the judge's creative ruling quickly spread, bringing a mix of laughter and respect throughout the community. Jocelyn looked at Jack, her eyes wide. "I can't believe it," she whispered. Daily furry tasks, once foreign, became part of their new routine. The public found humor and satisfaction in their new responsibilities, a touch of irony considering where this all began. Word of Bella's story and the amusing justice she sparked spread far and wide. Folks loved how quickly Jack and Jocelyn's actions changed perspectives in the community. People talked about the unique way justice was served, finding humor in how everything played out. It was as if Bella's journey had united townsfolk coast to coast, strengthening a communal belief in second chances and redemption. Conversations about this remarkable tale became a common thread of connection. Arriving at the animal shelter, Jack and Jocelyn glanced at each other, their faces a mixture of doubt and anticipation. "Do you think we'll be any good at this?" Jocelyn asked, trying to sound confident. Jack shrugged, stepping through the doorway. "We'll figure it out, like everything else." As they entered, the air buzzed with the shelter's lively atmosphere, hinting at the possibility of new beginnings and changes yet to unfold. The shelter staff welcomed Jack and Jocelyn with open arms, offering helpful tips and patient smiles. They embraced their new tasks, willing to learn and improve. "Here's how you handle feeding time," one of the volunteers explained, demonstrating with ease. Jack and Jocelyn nodded, eager to get started. They realized their mistakes but were thankful for the chance to turn things around. The kindness offered was like a beacon, guiding them forward. Bella roamed the shelter, nuzzling into familiar and new faces alike. Her purring seemed to calm everyone, evoking joyful memories of better times. People gathered around, drawn by her gentle presence and loving spirit. "She's like a little ray of sunshine," someone commented, smiling warmly. Bella's influence continued to grow, weaving connections among budding friendships, her gentle purrs echoing the possibility of hope, bonding people in unexpected yet meaningful ways. Jack and Jocelyn found themselves laughing along with everyone else, their spirits lighter than before. There was something about working together for a common cause that washed away past tensions. "Who knew this would be so rewarding?" Jack noted, grinning at Jocelyn, who nodded with agreement. In focusing on Bella and her story, the ties among all of us strengthened, planting roots of understanding and companionship that stood firm against any odd. Bella thrived amid the bustling shelter, her eyes constantly alight with curiosity and warmth. Her presence was like an invitation, drawing out the best in those she met. "She's grown so much," I remarked to a coworker, watching Bella meander around. It was a beautiful display of growth and understanding, both for her and the people drawn into her orbit. Bella was a testament to how love could soften even the hardest hearts. Our shelter transformed into a symbol of collective healing, a place where kindness and unity thrived. Watching Bella flourish, we felt a shared triumph. "Look at her go," someone observed, eyes full of pride. Her journey intertwined beautifully with ours, each step she took reflective of the strength and determination that guided her. Together, our community found pieces of itself in Bella's light, crafting a shared destiny that was brighter than ever. Bella, once abandoned and forgotten, now stood as a beacon of hope. Her journey to healing inspired so many hearts. "She's a miracle in fur," I thought aloud, watching her prance through the shelter. Her story enriched every life it touched, proving that even the tiniest creature could have a profound impact. Bella had transformed from a symbol of neglect to one of empowerment and love, rallying us all around her warmth and strength. Jack and Jocelyn's story unfolded as a genuine testament to redemption and change. "We've learned so much," Jack admitted, reflecting on the journey. Their time at the shelter taught them about compassion and responsibility. Each meaningful moment spent caring for Bella marked a milestone in their personal growth. It was a lesson in humility, showcasing that through dedication and understanding, anyone could find a path toward healing and reconciliation. With Bella by our side, we embraced a future filled with unity and love. "We've come a long way," Jocelyn mused, scratching Bella's chin. Our hearts warmed, knowing we had seen Bella flourish into a symbol of hope. We had found not just a place, but a home where love and unity were at the core. Our shared journey with Bella confirmed she was exactly where she belonged.